Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Orange Grow 55. In this video, I got a great question from a subscriber in regards to the prospects of a third park coming to the Disneyland Resort. I'm going to dive right in. We're going to read his question and then we're going to talk about it. All right, so the question comes from Epic Berserker, and he writes, do you think with Chapek and Damaro, park chairman, will ever greenlight a budget for Westcott or a true third, fourth park? Well, Epic Berserker, first of all, I want to thank you for this fantastic question. To answer this in short, yes, I do think that we will see a third park come to the Disneyland Resort. Fourth park, it's a little soon for that. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but a third park, yes, I think it's pretty much inevitable, as Thanos would say, inevitable. Now, in terms of Westcott, right? I think Westcott, I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. Believe me, I mean, I would love to see Westcott Center come to the Disneyland Resort. For those of you that are not aware, this was a concept that was being thrown around, you know, in the Michael Eisner era, you know, when they were looking for another park to complement Disneyland, which ultimately became Disney California Adventure. But Westcott was going to be like the sister park to Epcot in Florida. Very, very cool concept. Instead of like a world showcase in regards to like the countries, it would be the continents. Okay. Now the issue with Westcott, though, in my opinion, is that, you know, Disney's been kind of struggling with Epcot really from the beginning. They've had to constantly kind of throw IP and Disney characters into this park, and not just recently. I mean, they've been doing this really since the park opened. When the park opened, a lot of fans didn't really understand it. It was like the first non-castle park, and really since then, the park has really struggled. I think it's an awesome park. It's really cool, and I wish we would get Westcott. I just don't think we'll see that kind of park ever again, unfortunately. And even if they were to build Westcott, Epic Berserker, it wouldn't be the same park that was promised to us, 20 years ago. I mean, it would for surely have a bunch of franchises, and you would see basically like Mulan and Shang-Chi in the China area. You'd probably see a lot of Frozen and fairy tales in the Europe area. It would be much different than what was promised back then, for sure. Almost completely unrecognizable. But I do think a third park is very, very likely for the Disneyland Resort. I don't think it'll be Westcott, but I do think we will see a third park. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of haters in the comments, but Orange Grove, there's no room for a third park. Au contraire, there actually is room for a third park, and we're going to dive into that right now, shall we? Let's dive right into it. Okay, so this is the current Toy Story parking lot. Now, according to Google, the Toy Story lot is about 75 acres. Okay, so it's about 75 acres, right? Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, that's not that big enough for a third park. Well, actually, if we're going to look at this, California Adventure is only 73 acres. So it's definitely big enough for a third park. And with this Disneyland Forward proposal, it's very possible that this becomes a third park eventually. Now, a lot of people, again, are going to say in the comments, but Orange Grove, on the Disneyland Forward website, it shows this particular area, this Toy Story parking lot, a shopping district. Well, yeah, but you leave out the fact that also in that same website, they say this is purely conceptual and just a big what if. What are the possibilities for these areas? So nothing was set in stone. They could easily, alter plans and make it a third park. And I think ultimately they will. I do believe that the Toy Story lot will eventually become a third park. That's why Disney bought the land in the first place. Okay, for a third park. I mean, you're short on space. You can build another mall anywhere. It's a lot easier to find 10, 15 acres for another mall district or whatever for another hotel. It's a lot harder to find 70, 80 acres for a theme park. So I don't think Disney's going to waste the Toy Story lot on shopping and a hotel. I do think that it will become eventually the third park. So in short, to kind of close this out, Epic Berserker, I think a third park is inevitable. Unfortunately, I think Westcott, though, as a concept, that ship has sailed and it will never see the light of day, sadly, because honestly, the Westcott Center concept and really the way it was integrated into the resort with the people mover system and all that cool stuff was really, really dope. I wish they would do that. I really do. Unfortunately, I just don't think they will. I think whatever third park we get will be heavily franchised. But we'll see. But thank you, Epic. I do appreciate your question. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think about the prospects of a third park coming to the Disneyland Resort? Do you think it's likely? Do you think it's inevitable? Do you think it's never going to happen? What are your thoughts about putting it here in the Toy Story lot? And what are your thoughts about Westcott? You know, what are your feelings on that? Do you think it's possible that we get that park? Or do you think, like I do, that that ship has sailed? Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.